How many rehearsals are required? How many more rehearsals are required? Zero? Oh, I was getting ready to celebrate.
4 or 5.
What? You know, in the people you were there in the last course, right? How many rehearsals did you have? She is not even showing her face because she knows that here we have been very generous to take out time from the Satsang to be giving for rehearsals. The first course where we are doing that, okay? Yeah.
And the last.
Yes. Yes. Yay. Okay, yeah. You said it, I didn't. Yes, so today is what day? Thursday. All right. Tomorrow we will have Pujya Swamiji's Satsang. All right. It will be ready? All right. She is doing the subtitling. So 12th and then 13th, musical evening. Saturday. It's like sitting in a room with a dead lead balloon. No energy there at all. Don't want to have it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's much better. So then, that is that. Then that brings us to Sunday. Sunday is rehearsal day. So Sunday is the 14th. And then, what? Swamiji can do what? Pujya Swamiji, yes. 15th? Yeah. This one doesn't seem to be interested. Yeah. This one I tried to make it very attractive. And he just looked at me and said, "You are there, go." So, yeah. So let's see. Maybe not. We don't know. But Pujya Swamiji will never say no. So we can have 15th, one satsang with Pujya Swamiji, and then if Sakshat Swamiji agrees, he can do on the 15th, and then you can have 15th and 16th, we will have satsangs with Pujya Swamiji, and then 17th and 18th you can use the time to rehearse. Yes? Okay. 17th, so no, wait. You will have the time on the 14th, 17th and 18th. 3 more rehearsals. Doesn't matter, meet and rehearse. 1 hour you can't find to rehearse? Huh? Yeah. So, and then tomorrow meditation. Today meditation, there were exactly 4 people when I came in. Okay. It was very sad and very, very, very sad. So tomorrow I will come in sharp at 7, and if there are 4 people, I will go back down. All right, if there is nobody, and you can have self-guided meditation in that case. All right? Yeah, that is the thing. If everybody is here, I'll be happy to be with you and meditate with all of you. No problem. So that is the story for tomorrow. And then what else? Questions. Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Vavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Can it be said that Brahman is a living being? Yes, but not a living being like the one that is inhabiting, like the one which is like this body. It is a living being, but not like you or me or anybody sitting in this room. We are all what? Living beings, correct? Are we living beings? Yes. Unanimity at last. So, we are all living beings, but what kind of living beings we are? As though parichinna, confined to this body, confined to this mind, confined to the sense organs. We are that kind of living beings. Brahman is, the word Brahman means being. And that being has to be living because it is all knowledge. That is part of your second part of your question, is Brahman self-aware? Yes. Why? Because you are also self-aware. And that which is the only source of self-awareness is what? Brahman. And so Brahman is sentient, is a sentient being, but not like the ones we see around with name and form. So when we talk of Brahman, when we talk of consciousness that is not conditioned by name and form, which is what I assume you mean by the word Brahman, yes, it is sentient, it is existent, it is all knowledge, which means it is self-aware. And what are you? You are also existent, you are also a living being, and you are also what? All knowledge. But that there is a distance, there is a difference, because if we come in an upadhi, we take the upadhi to be real, which is why we need this knowledge. Not to remove the upadhi. Upadhi cannot be removed except by Ishvara. So, we don't need this knowledge to get out of the upadhi. We need this knowledge to understand that the upadhi does not have anything to do with the I. It is just like wearing some necklace. And then what do? You can take it off like that. The necklace does not define you. It's more of a ornamentation. The upadhi is as though ornamentation to Brahman. That's all. Thank God we have the upadhi. Because of the upadhi we can ask questions, we can move, we can pursue this knowledge. Very nice it is. Good question. Next one, samskara. Not shamskara, samskara. Samskara, where is it stored? It is stored in the sukshma shariram. Sukshma sharira. Sukshma sharira and the unconscious mind, which is also part of Sukshma sharira. So, where all the memories live, where all the memories go. And then, though that is where the samskaras are stored. Samskara means impressions. And usually we use it for both positive and difficult impressions. But generally we use samskara, good impressions, and vasanas, difficult impressions from the past. So, samskaras, vasanas, unconscious mind, memories, desires, all of them are stored in the sukshma sharira, which continues to, which can carry, because it is subtle, it can carry anything, no problem at all. It carries the upadhi, the upadhi, the gross upadhi is gone, left behind. The subtle upadhi continues, attached to that particular jiva. Even ajnanam is an upadhi, attached to that particular jiva. It travels and the jiva comes in a new physical upadhi, but same Sukshma upadhi, same kind of samskaras. Samskaras travel, memories travel, and then more importantly, desires travel. So this time I wanted this, I liked this, I had this. Next life also the desire for those things will be there. So that is samskara. Prarabdha karma, where is it stored? Same place. Same place. That is where. But then when we ask where is it stored, please remember that these are all what? Mithya. So if the karma is mithya, the storage place will also be what? Mithya. So everything ultimately is non-separate from Brahman. So this is a Sukshma Sharira Avachinna Chaitanya. This is also Brahman, but it is as though defined, conditioned, as though limited by the Sukshma Shariram, a Brahman that is as though expressing itself through the Sukshma Sharira. Prarabdha karma is also part of the subtle body. We saw that in Panchadashi, which we studied in our last life. Okay? Yeah. So, we saw that. So, prarabdha karma, all this, sanchita, agami, etc., all these. 3 gunas of the person, where are they stored? Yeah. Now we are getting the drift of these questions. Yeah. So, where are the 3 gunas? They are stored in the 3 gunas come from Maya. Maya, Prakriti. So, it is stored in Maya. Maya has got many facets. One facet or one aspect of Maya is Trigunatmika Maya. She of 3 gunas. And what are these 3 gunas? The Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, or the color palettes of Maya with which she paints the Jagat. Paints your body also, paints your mind, paints the senses with Sattva, Rajas, Tamas colors. So Maya. So Maya is the storehouse, the warehouse of the 3 gunas. Okay. Then that is those are the 3 storage questions. And then sometimes certain good karmas, bad karmas give immediate results, overpowering prarabdha. Okay, so see, this is very simple. The sadhana panchakam, one of the beginning texts which we studied maybe 2 courses ago, I don't remember. Last course, okay. So sadhana panchakam, in the last 5th verse says prarabdham ihatu bhujyatam. Bhujyatam means must be experienced. The prarabdha must be experienced for kshaya. Kshaya means for the exhaustion. So you cannot bypass prarabdha. That is what is said. True, this is the rule. And then what is the rule, and there is always a apavada, a kind of a carved out exception to the rule. In Paninian grammar also we will find it. There is a whole set of rules, and then we come to the 8th chapter, and then he says, for this section, all the rules we have learnt up till now, please forget. Purvatra asiddham. Yes. This is that kind of a situation. Purvatra asiddham. So whatever we know about karma, please forget. Why? Because we are going to extend this karma theory. So what is karma? Prarabdha karma is the ways in which I either went along with dharma earlier in this life or in a previous life, and then when I went along with dharma, I get comfortable situations. When I go along with dharma, nice things happen, either in this life or to be experienced in another life. Then if I don't go along with dharma, what happens? Uncomfortable things happen, when either in this life or in other lives. Uncomfortable things happen, and so therefore this is prarabdha. Now, where did that comfortable situation and uncomfortable situation come from? My own actions. And where did my own action comes from? Where are my actions stored? In the free will. Correct? So my actions are coming from free will. So that free will unleashed this adrishta. Adrishta means invisible result. I don't know what's going to happen. It's in Bhagavan's hands. So therefore, now we have a prarabdha hack. Yes, a prarabdha bypass. Oh, really? So prarabdham ihatu bhujyatam is wrong. It's not wrong. It's like purvatra asiddham. In one little place, please don't consider all the rules that you have studied from this many sutras to this many sutras. Those rules don't apply. You apply these new rules. This is how it is. So here also we have to apply what? The specific new rules. And what are the new rules? It's not new rules, it's just common sense. So that adrishta has to be countered by new karma that I can unleash. I can set into motion new karma. And this we have seen time and again. One man was on the deathbed. He was in stage 4 cancer. He came running to Swamiji, Pujya Swamiji, and he said, they have told me I have only 8 months to live. Because stage 4, many, I don't know which original cancer it was, it had gone to many places. And so Swamiji said, 11 days, 11 times Rudram and do Abhisheka to Shivalinga with all the dravyas. That's not easy. That's like a lot of 11. So you have to keep bags ready. You don't sleep basically. Either you are collecting the things or you are doing the Abhisheka. The only 2 options in the whole 11 days. And then everything has to be fresh. You have to make prasadam, all these things. Whole day goes in doing this. And so somehow he did it. And then afterwards it was found, I think he had about 11 tumors all over the body. And then afterwards he went for a scan. And he was eager to go for a scan immediately, and Swamiji said, no, let the puja have some effect, wait. And then afterwards he went for a scan, and there was only 3 tumors left, and they too had shrunk, and it was operable. The other 8 that were there were in inoperable places, like brain and in between 2 vertebrae and things like that, were very dangerous places to operate. But this was very easily operable. So he had the surgery and then is doing okay. The last time I checked. So like this. So what happened here? This cancer, metastasized cancer, was what? Karma phala, correct? What kind of karma? Prarabdha karma. Adrishta. That adrishta is countered by what? New adrishta. I create deliberately new karma to counter the old karma. And then there are 2 kinds of prarabdhas, which is called, one is called weak prarabdha and the other one is called prabala prarabdha. Strong prarabdha and weak prarabdha. If it is strong prarabdha, maybe it would not help. It would mitigate a little bit, but not completely neutralize. But if it is a weak prarabdha, it will completely neutralized. So this adrishta means is the long-term effects. First is drishtaphala, immediate effect, and then adrishta, invisible, long-term effect of karma that you can see, that you can't see. And you don't know when it will fructify. So that is how you unleash new karma to take care of the old karma. This is how it's a prarabdha hack. Yes. Oh, but prarabdham ihatu bhujyatam purvatra asiddham. Okay. Yeah. Next one. Brahman is everywhere, outside, in every cell of the body, outside the body. Then why we point at the heart center when referring to the Atma? What's so special about the heart? I don't know, but it's universal somehow. So if somebody says, who did this? Universally, regardless of our language, regardless of our culture, regardless of our nationality, ethnicity, what do? I. It's the heart of the matter. I. And we use the heart in so many ways. Heart broken. I am heartened by the fact that you have given me this good news. My heart is glad. The heart is a figurative way to refer to the core of the matter. And so it would look very funny. Who did this? Very nice. You don't say like that. I did it. Yeah. And you don't say I did it. You don't say you don't touch your leg and say I did it. You don't touch your stomach and say I did it. No. You always go here. And here in India, sometimes you're walking or something, and then you just meet somebody, you don't have the time to do a whole namaste, you just touch the heart center. From my heart to yours, that's all it is. And then I went to Iran and they do the same thing. And I met one Ayatollah, and then he also did like this. And so I thought that's very interesting. So it seems to be universal. Everybody seems to be happy, so let them keep on doing that. Yeah, nothing to correct and nothing to explain also. Atma cannot know itself. For self-knowledge and upadhi, Atma cannot know itself. Very interesting. Why? Because does Atma suffer from self-ignorance? Yes? Is anybody saying yes? Okay, good. Yeah. Atma does not have self-ignorance. So therefore, not only can it not know itself, that part we are understanding, but we are not understanding another important part. It need not know itself. A thing comes to be known only by two ways. First is through the operation of the pramana, and that is called pramana siddha. And then, what is the other one? Swatas siddha. It doesn't need any pramana because it knows itself in the sense that it is self-aware. It doesn't know itself as aham satchidanandam brahma, aham, I cannot, that is what is the thing here. Like the fire cannot burn itself. We saw that example. So therefore, the Atma not only cannot know itself, it doesn't need to know itself. A, because it does not have avidya, self-ignorance. B, because it does not it does not have self-ignorance. And then B, it is self-aware, self-effulgent, self-luminous. So it need not know itself. That is what we have to remember. And then, what was the other question? For self-knowledge, upadhi is needed. Absolutely. Upadhi means not just this body. It means also the mind. And what is the mind full of? Knowledge. Complaints. Okay. Caused by ragadveshas. And so, not only you need upadhi, you need a particular kind of upadhi. A particular kind of upadhi that is extremely blessed and still complains. Without knowing and seeing the blessings, it sits and cries. Why me, why me, why me? Because you see, for self-knowledge we need an upadhi, dog upadhi, nothing. Yeah. You go meet the dogs and say Tattvamasi. Yeah. You are that. And you quote all kinds of shastra to it. Ekena mritpindena sarvam mrinmayam vijñatam syat. You tell all this to that. And then you say, look at the gold, look at the ornaments, everything has arisen from gold, it goes back to gold, it is sustained by gold, the shine of the gold belongs to, shine of the ornament belongs to the ornament or the gold. It will just look like this, wag its tail, jump on you, that's all it will do. It cannot have this knowledge, it need not have this knowledge because it does not complain. It does not complain. If the dog complains, then we have to ask, how long have you had the dog? That's all you have to ask. Dog does not complain. Cat does not complain. They may make other people complain, but they don't complain. So it's a special upadhi needed, not just any kind of upadhi. It's an upadhi despite being the most intelligent, most self-aware and free, endowed with free will, upadhi, still complains, still is full of all kinds of complexes. That is why this knowledge is needed. That's why. Because if supposing, let's say, you did not have an upadhi, then that you would be floating somewhere. You would be there but floating somewhere. How will you search for a teacher? How will you search for an ashram? Where will you go? Let's say you do, you say, oh, I like you just float into a few ashrams and you say, aha, this is the lineage I want to join, these are the people I want to listen to. And then how will you say, hey Guru, Shishyaste ham shadhimam tvam prapannam. How are you going to say that? I am your Shishya, please take me. Because no mouth, upadhi is not there, no hands, no legs. Only Sukshma Sharira, so you are dragging around the Sukshma Sharira, which nobody can see. And there is this, what is that, there is this whole book, Tibetan Book of Death and Dying. Fat book is there, by one Rinpoche called Sogyal Rinpoche. Tibetan Book of Death and Dying. And in that, all these disembodied beings, as soon as they die, do you know where they go? Don't say Swarga, don't say Naraka. Before they go there, they all go to all the marriage halls where people are getting married. And they ask the newly married couple, are you going to be my mummy? Are you going to be my daddy? And the jivas follow them home and push out the other jivas. No, they are mine, I saw them first. Because such is the urgency to be born, because only when you are born you can fulfill the desires, including the desire for moksha. That is why you need a upadhi. But thankfully you have one. So that's how you are able to ask the question too. Very good. So then, next one. I have questions about the best way to practice Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. During the classes, is it better to listen or take notes? Age-old question, yeah. Everybody asks this. And this is dependent on people's styles. Some people like to sit and write. Some people just like to listen. Some people like to do both. So that is your individual style. And taking notes sometimes helps because you're writing something down. That doesn't mean you have to write the whole lecture down, because then you'll be busy writing and no listening is happening. And then you have to go read the notes in order to even recall. And then of course you can't write as fast as the people are talking. And then so there will always be some truti. Truti means gaps. And then you have to wonder what went here. So therefore, selective note-taking might be best. You can experiment and see what helps you the best. So, but Shramanam means to listen. It really means to listen. And what you can do is to listen with a mind that is receptive. And for the 1 hour that one is sitting in class, the mind should be in meditation. What you do in meditation, wherever the mind goes, what do? You bring it back. You don't say, okay, have a good time, Nobody will know whether I'm meditating here. No, you bring it back. Here also in the classes, the meditation is for the sake of Shravanam only. The Vedantic meditation is for the sake of better Shravanam. Another type of Vedantic meditation is Nididhyasana, for assimilating the knowledge deeper and getting rid of wrong buddhi, wrong notions, not notions, what is that? Wrong orientations. And so, Shravanam means listening. And so the mind will go, especially if the teacher says one word and that word has other associations, the mind will definitely go. So each time what do? Bring back, bring back, bring back. That is what I have to do. And then so bringing back repeatedly again and again, I have to do that. Then after classes, should I reflect alone or exchange ideas with other students and or a teacher? Again, up to you. If something is not clear, then it is best to go to the teacher and then you start exchanging ideas. But if what you heard is not at all what other people heard, better go to the teacher to resolve that. And it is advisable to consult additional books. Please don't. All right? You don't need to read. You're fine. You don't need to become a researcher. All right? Yeah. Then next one. We learned that rebirth happens because of unfulfilled desires. No, because of ajnanam. Desires are secondary. Desires come later. What is not resolved is what? Ignorance is not resolved. Ignorance is the patriarch, the daddy. And then what is the child of this daddy? Yeah, Kama. And then what? Because Kama doesn't let you sit still. It creates pressure called Vega. Because of Kama, what happens? Karma takes place. And karma gives karma phala. And karma phala I don't like. So I want to change the karma phala. So I do what? More karma. Karta bhokta. This also we saw in the Panchadashi. Even though it's not wrong to say desire is the cause of birth, but still let us be technically correct and say what? Ignorance is the cause of the birth. And then, but desires are of many kind. Some are strong and then some keep on changing, some are very mild. Do all types of unfulfilled desires lead to birth or only certain kinds? So we have seen, and you yourself mentioned also, there are two kinds of desires, binding and non-binding. Binding desires are the strong variety, non-binding desires, mild variety. Oh, it would be wonderful to do this right now, but I can't. So therefore, what do I say? It's okay, it doesn't matter, I'll do it another day. I want to eat in this restaurant. Oh, but it closed. All right, doesn't matter. Another time I'll go there. That means what kind of a desire is it? Non-binding. Because it's of a mild variety. A thought comes and then you just say, okay, doesn't matter. Fulfilled, all right. Not fulfilled, even better, no problem. Saved some money. Did not spend money. Very good. So this is the mild variety. Certain other desires are the strong variety. The difference between the mild desires and the strong desires is that the mild desires you hold on to and the strong desires hold on to you. Do you see the difference? That is what it is. So the strong desires, we would say, will be the cause for difficult life and then future birth also. So something, want this. I want lots of money. I want money. Bhagavan, give me money. I want to be surrounded by money. Next life, bank teller. Yeah. Surrounded by other people's money. always counting money, always handing out money, always receiving money. Bhagavan has a sense of humor. Yeah. So, better not desire these kinds of things. Yeah. Desire knowledge, that's better. Then, I have a question about karma. If a person does good action with the intention or expectation that good results will come to them, does that karma still bring positive results, or does the intention of getting something back reduce the purity or the effectiveness of the good actions? Yeah, you have answered your own questions. So, like for example, the karma where the will is free brings the most results. And even though we say free will, it's a misnomer, it's a wrong title. We don't have free will, because the will is taken hostage, bound and gagged and left in the forest by what? By the desires, by the strong desires. The will has become a slave to the desires. It's no longer free. So even if somebody says, I want to help, and we see this all the time. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. When? I'm going to help all the dogs by the Ganga. I'm going to help. I'm going to feed them. After calling the press. Yeah. I will call all the people, they'll come with these long things, mics, and then the mics are also wearing some kind of a sweater. I not understood that. Maybe the voice is, like this one is wearing something like that. So they have these big furry mics, and then they thrust it in the air, and then you make sure the camera is on, the mic is on, and then just then one cow comes, one cat comes, one dog comes, and you feed it some roti and something else you keep giving while looking at the camera. And so then, so karma phala will come, but it will be less than what is freely given. The free will is only free under, very sad, under two circumstances. One is in prayer, because you don't have to pray. Nobody tells you, nobody whips you and ties you in front of Bhagavan. In the temple, nobody ties you and keeps you and say, you have to pray. No. Nobody tells you, we tell you go to the temple, but nobody comes. Okay? Yeah. So therefore, we can tell, but a fat lot of good that does. So that means if we tell and nobody comes, what does that mean? That means that there is an option that is being used. There is a choice that I am making, correct? And so, if I don't, sometimes, nobody says, like ashram temple different, but outside temples, nobody says, please come to our temple. And neither do we have a religion, every Sunday we have to pray, every Friday we have to pray. We don't have such rules at all. We don't have a holy day because all the days are holy. I was interviewed once by this lady who said, I want to know something about, are you a Hindu? I said, yes, I am a Hindu. But she couldn't say the. She would say, Hindu. Are you a Hindu? I said, yes. And then she said, can I ask some questions? Yes. So the questions, she was a Unitarian, Universalist, Unitarian minister. Wonderful person and great sense of humor, very nice person. And she was here for some work, and then she said, let us have an interview. And so she would ask questions because she was trying to understand. She says, do the Hindus have a holy day? And I thought about it, Monday Shiva, Tuesday Kartikeya, and then Wednesday Ganesha, Thursday Guru, Friday Goddess. And then I said, no, we don't. And then she said, do you have a congregation? You have congregate prayers. I said, no, we don't. Because then I thought, even if we go in a group, we are standing alone and closing our eyes and just communing with Bhagavan. So I said, no, we don't. And then she said, are there things that you absolutely have to do in order to be called a Hindu? And then I thought about it. Do we have to go to the temple? No. Do we have to be like this? No. So I said, no, we don't. And she got very frustrated. She said, why do you call yourself Hindus? You should be called Hindon'ts. That's what she said. And so I can understand her frustration, because when there is an option, then I do something. Then if I pray, when I'm not required to pray, the culture, the tradition does not require me to pray. In order to be a Hindu, I don't need to pray. I receive some form of instructions and prayers from the parents, the grandparents, and they will say it will be nice if you pray, but after you are an adult, nobody follows you around and say, did you say your childhood prayers? Nobody asks you. So you don't have to pray. But then, if I don't have to pray and then I pray, that means what? The will is free from the pressures of not praying. That is what the thing is. So in prayer, the will is pure and free, because no matter how desperate, the person does not need to pray. The person can jump off a bridge, God forbid, but that happens. The person can rob a bank. The person can go on some kind of this also, God forbid, sometimes it happens. They just go on a mass killing spree or do something to vent their desperation. But here is the person who chooses to pray. So that means the intention behind that will matters. How free the will is matters. So prayer is one area where the will is totally free, and to a lesser extent the will is free in giving, when you give. So ishta karma is prayers, and then purta karma, reaching out actions. Vapi kupatadagadi devata ayatanani cha annapradanah aramascha purtamiti abhidhiyate. Purta karma is of the following kinds. Digging wells for animals, not wells, what are they called? Water holes for animals to drink water. Kupa, digging wells in an area where there is no water so the community can benefit. Desertified area, drought-ridden area. Tadaga, making a human-made lake. Tadagam. And Adi means other things like that. Planting trees, doing, helping nature, all these things. Vapi kupatadagadi devata ayatanani cha. Devatayatana means building temples. This is also a community service, building places of worship. Annapradana. Annapradana means what? Giving of food. That's why everybody does bhandara here and bhiksha here, all these things. Aramascha. Arama means making places to stay near the pilgrimage sites, where people can stay for free. It's not a hotel. It's not Airbnb. It's not PG, paying guest. No. Even today, thanks to this kind of a culture, you can do pilgrimages from the southern tip to the northern part of India without paying anything. It's all paid forward. You will have a place to sleep. Don't say, oh, will I have a 5-star hotel? No. And you will be sleeping with 10 other people. That's how it will be. Okay? But you will get a packet. And depending on where you are, if you are in North India, the packet will be parathas and sabji. And then in South India, it will be various kinds of rice and all these things. And so rice and dal or whatever sambar, it will be like that. And so you will get packet of food to eat. You can go do your pilgrimage. So all these things were like even in Rishikesh we have a Annakshetra called Kali Kamli Wala. And then there also we have what? We have food and given to the sadhus for free. So these are the ways when the free will is not tethered. It is not tied up. And then that tells us that the intention is pure. All right. Then in the Panchadashi, you mentioned that Brahman has no gender, Maya is also beyond gender. Can you explain this again? How should a seeker relate to a genderless Brahman while still engaging in devotional forms? Yeah, Brahman has no gender. If it doesn't have upadhi, gender is part of what? Sthula Sharira. Or even if you say, I identify as a man or a woman or something in between, still it is what? You Sukshma Sharira. So the gender is part of the upadhi. Sthula upadhi and Sukshma upadhi. I am such and such. That is the physical characteristics, and then the identification with those physical characteristics is a mental construct. So therefore, Brahman does not have attributes. It does not have sthula upadhi, neither does it have sukshma upadhi, and since it is all knowledge, it does not have karana sharira either. What is karana sharira? Ignorance. The cause of the other two, ignorance. Karana sharira is ignorance. So karana sharira nishedha is there for Brahman. So karana sharira means ignorance. Brahman doesn't have ignorance, so no causal body. Brahman doesn't have feelings, thoughts, identification, no mind and no sukshma body, subtle body, and of course Brahman does not have what? Sthula sharira. So therefore it is genderless. Maya also is genderless, it's a Shakti, no gender. But the word Maya is what? Feminine. And the word Brahman is what? Neuter. Brahma, Brahmani, Brahmani. And then Maya, as though, which is an as though Shakti of Brahman, non-separate from Brahman, Mithya Bhuta Shakti of Brahman, in association with which what happens? Ishvara. Ishvaratvam is made, as it were. So then this Ishvara is neither male nor female. And then that's why all the various manifestations of Bhagavan are happily married. All of them you see. So you will never see a Shiva temple without some, some rendition of Shakti. You will never see a, Balaji or a Narayana temple, Krishna temple without the feminine counterpart. And then if you go to a Devi temple, there will be the masculine counterpart somewhere, even outside the temple, in some place they will be there. So this means what? So both the genders are there means it is beyond gender. And that is how we have to slowly learn to identify ourselves also as beyond the gender. And that is the idea. This is how to relate in devotional forms. We even have one form called Ardhanarishvara. So left half feminine and then right half masculine. It needs a lot of maturity to relate to this particular form. Because the right hand side of the deity is masculine. It has two hands to show men have more strength. The left side has one hand. It's the Devi side. So totally the Murti has 3 hands and 1 breast and is in a standing posture. Very difficult to relate. But if you understand this, then it becomes very easy. Shiva and Shakti are inseparable from one another. If you understand this, it becomes very easy to relate. Okay. And then, how should a spiritual seeker work with sexual energy? There is a natural attraction, natural thoughts. So how do we balance this energy, transform it, make it milder? Should it be suppressed, redirected, or understood in some other way? And how can one overcome the guilt that arises around the topic? Sexual energy is like any other energy. We give it extra what is that called? Importance. Because that is what is there in the culture and the society. The culture somehow puts this up front and center. What are the movies about? The movies are not about two people playing chess and then what happens? Right? Yeah. Who won? No. Movies are not about that. Movies are not about a dejected person going to ashram and finding moksha and finding knowledge. If that kind of a movie, people will throw rotten eggs on the screen. In India, people are very expressive, especially in rural areas. This is what happened when there was one book. There is one book called City of Joy. It's a misnomer. It's a city of sorrow, actually. Have you read it? Some people have read it. City of Joy. It's a sarcastic usage. City of Joy. And it's all about sad stories of sad people living in the slums of Kolkata. Very sad. And then this movie went to the rural areas and people got so mad because they said, this is already our lives. We want people running around trees. Not just any people, one very good looking man and one good looking woman, and then all made up. We want them dancing, we want them running around trees, we want this, we don't want this is already our lives. So that tells us a lot. They threw eggs, tomatoes, everything they threw on the screen. And then the movie was a big flop. And after that, nobody wanted to read the book also. And sometimes when movies come out, then people rediscover the book. This was the opposite. They said, down with the book. We don't want the book, we don't want the movie. So, and therefore, you see, there is socially, there is a way in which this is deified. Deified means made very important. And then there is then because of what you mentioned, because of the awkwardness of the topic, nobody likes to discuss it. And then even the parents don't know how to discuss it because their parents did not know how to discuss it. And so there is a lot of awkwardness. And then it is somehow suppressed. And it appears to be forbidden. And what do we know of things that are forbidden? You want it even more badly. If somebody says you cannot have this, what happens? You want it even more. With a vengeance. That's why in society there are, There are ways of diffusing this. Like marriage, a committed relationship, whatever it is. Those are sanctioned ways so that one does not fritter away one's life and fritter away this energy also. By, practices which are frankly dangerous. Having multiple partners, it's dangerous for health and so many things. And doing other things which are risky. And so therefore, the society has certain ways of sanctifying the energy, making it holy. And marriage is one very good example of that. Nothing wrong. Because as you said, it's a natural urge, it's a natural this, and then it's okay. Nothing wrong at all. And then if you want to make this a lifestyle, or at least if one is in a, if one is looking into Vedanta seriously for a length of time, then it is good to find ways of sublimating this energy. And for that, many things we can do. Art works, art, poetry, music, because it's just a creative energy. That's all it is. So in art, what are you doing? You're creating something. In art, you're creating something. In music, you're creating something. When you write poetry and other things, you're creating something. And with just this energy, also you're creating babies. That's all it is. So this is so it's a creative energy. That's what we have to understand. And then finally I will also say that ultimately what is it? Mithya. Mithya. It's good to remember that, and it's good to have that. And there is no reason to feel guilty unless one is, doing something wrong with it. And so that's why we can let that go. Guidelines on Vedic chanting for a woman during the period. I have been reprimanded many times for going to chanting during the cycle. It will affect fertility. I don't think it will affect fertility. Yeah, I don't know who reprimanded you, but I don't think it will affect fertility. There is, we have to understand one thing about this period and all these things. Because in the olden days, they did not have ways to take care of it, like there are now. Before, they did not know how to work with this energy. And naturally, they thought it was impure, and the person associated with the period was also what? Impure. And because of that, segregation was there. And then after that, there was some kind of a ritual bath after 3-4 days, and then the purity was kind of restored, and then one could participate in life again. They did this for hygienic reasons, because they did not know what to do. But now we are not there yet. We are not there anymore. We have come a long way. I think it's up to the person. If a person feels that during this time I shouldn't do this, it's up to them. Let them do whatever they are comfortable with. But there is no way, nowhere does it say, if you do this, it will, do that. I don't think anywhere I have seen that it says that. Okay? So there is no ritualistic forbidding for this. Why are the Vedas cited as 3 in number and the other times quoted as 4? Because the 4th one is a mischievous Veda. What is its name? Atharva Veda. It gives us very good things, like some of the Upanishads, Ganapati Atharva Shirsha Upanishad, and then Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad. It has given us many gifts, but also it gives spells. I want to be successful, but I don't want you to be successful. There is a spell for that, and the Atharva Veda is full of all kinds of spells. So we say that even the Mundaka Upanishad, which is from what? Atharva Veda says, Tretayam Bahudha Santatani. In the three Vedas it is mentioned. It discounts itself for this purpose. So that is what. How can we become more disciplined and manage a yogic's lifestyle? That's easy. Come to meditation tomorrow. Yeah. So, good start. Yeah. And then what else? Why are the sounds called aksharas? Because they have been there. Naksharati iti aksharaha. They have been there. And they are not going anywhere. Correct? The same language, Sanskritam language, we have been speaking for how many years? And they'll continue to be there. Even though it says it's a dead language, it's not. It's even if supposing nobody speaks it, it will still be where? In the universities, libraries, somewhere it will be there. So, that's why it is called Akshara. And it has come from Bhagavan, who is Akshara. This is a question, not a criticism. Duly noted, thank you. Yeah, it seems that here and in other Advaitic Sampradayas, the word Vedanta is used such that it presumes to imply Advaita Vedanta. Yes, true. Guilty as charged. Yeah. Are there not, as we have discussed, other Vedantas, Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, Achintya, Bheda, Abheda, etc., or is it just a politically correct concession to say so? To say so means to say Vedanta. Well, you see, what's the word for it? This is just, if you go to academic circles, they will make sure to make you say Advaita Vedanta, Dvaita Vedanta, Vishishtadvaita Vedanta, Bheda Bheda Vada, all these things. But here, what are we saying? What is this a school of? Advaita Vedanta already. And so, if you were to ask, Pujya Swamiji was asked this very question, same question, and he said, what other kind of Vedanta is there? This was his position. And yes, there is hermeneutic freedom, and then yes, in this ashram we will do lip service to Vishishtadvaita, because we are not studying that, frankly speaking, and we will do lip service to also what? Dvaita. Why? Because we are committed here, and the purpose here to understand what? Advaita. See, Dvaita is, you see, the thing is this. The Gurukula study used to take 12 years, right? So 12 years I study because I have a jignasa. I have come because I am not understanding my relationship to the universe, to God, etc. 12 years I study only to come out and hear what? Only to come out with the understanding that Jagat is different, God, Bhagavan is different, and I am different. That was my capital to begin with. That is how I went in, and then I came out all in the same way. But with Advaita Vedanta, if we want to use that expression, here in non-dualism, this the duality is not brushed aside, the duality is transcended, meaning it is acknowledged, and the we are taught to see the mithyatvam of this duality. So because there is a higher vantage point, or at least that's what we think, and as to from where to abide and understand the truth of ourselves. So this too is just a statement, not a criticism of the other Vadas, okay, because we are not studying that. And if you went to other places also, they will be just teaching what they are teaching. Here is what we are teaching, and that is what it is, okay. All right. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.